was fucking delicious. I microwaved that bitch for like 30 seconds. Oh, went down way too quick though. Hey guys, it's Kara here, and I'm 8 days post-competition, and I wanted to talk a little bit about reverse dieting, how it's going for me so far, and just kind of talk about it in general because I think this is the time of year when a lot of girls are coming off their preps. We're going into holiday season, and I've seen through social media a lot of people are reverse dieting right now. And I think it's a topic not everyone is super open with. I'm going to kind of ramble a bit in this video because, well, I don't usually kind of write notes for myself. I usually just kind of find a topic and talk from the heart about it. So I apologize if it's a little bit all over the place, but I do think reverse dieting is kind of lonely, which maybe that's a weird sentence, but you know, we go into these competitions, we train so hard, work so hard, it happens, and then boom, it's over with. And to go into the reverse diet can be very challenging, and I think it's something that, you know, a lot of people don't understand the competition prep diet, but they kind of get it. You can't eat anything, okay? But when you're coming off of a competition and reverse dieting, I think that's something people don't understand even more than a competition diet. You go back to work or you go back to your daily routine and people are just like, you know, congrats, now you can eat real food again, right? Like people just think that, I don't know what people think. I think they think it stops, you know, it ends right there. And people don't understand the risks of the rebound weight gain that can happen post-competition. And the reason why I say I think it's lonely is because I don't think a lot of people understand it. And I think most of us do struggle with it. And I could be wrong, but I would say the majority of people I've seen that openly discuss those things on social media do struggle with it. And I think it tends to be an internal struggle that we don't share on a daily basis with other people because you might feel guilty about not perfectly hitting your macros like a boss. You know what I mean? Or getting in all those training sessions intensely or whatever your plan is post-competition. I think a lot of people feel very shameful. You know, you feel like you deserve the treats post-competition, and then when you fit them in, you feel guilty about it. You don't have those show day abs anymore. You know, you don't look the same. So I just think it can feel a little bit lonely. And, you know, I'm just putting this out there because I feel like this is where a lot of people get fucked up mentally. And I don't want you to. And I know a lot of bikini competitors follow this channel. So I hope this is helpful, and please share it with other people who you think might go through this or be going through it. Because this is a really crucial time. A lot of people you plan and prepare so much for that competition that you don't prepare for what's to come after the competition. And I think it's harder. And I learned that from my last competition. That post-competition week, that first week, I think is the most challenging week. It's harder than peak week. There's no competition that next Saturday to keep you going on your macros all week. You know what I mean? And it's tough. I feel like it is tougher than prepping. And I mentally knew that going into this competition. So I feel like I learned a lot from that last competition that kind of helped me going into this reverse diet in this past week. You know, I'll talk a little bit about my experience this past week. I chose to have my free meal or whatever you want to label it as Saturday night. Sunday, I chose to kind of loosely follow macros, more or less. I kind of put stuff in MyFitnessPal just to make sure I was hitting protein that day. But I ate that giant-ass cookie I got from Orlando. For those of you that have followed, I did eat that. It was fucking delicious. I microwaved that bitch for like 30 seconds. Oh, went down way too quick though. Way too quick. It looked ginormous and I was like, where did it all go? In like 10 seconds. But anyway, so I didn't know how to track that and I didn't care. You know, I wanted to eat and not think about my food as numbers for that day. So that's what I chose to do. That's what I chose to did. I know my English. So in Sunday, I chose not to train. Just wanted to take a day off or so from training. So Monday was my plan to start my reverse diet and go back into my training. Now, for those of you going into this, you can do it a couple different ways. Some people feel like you should take a week or two off from the gym. Some people feel like you should take at least 3 to 4 days off. Some people are in the gym the day after a competition. What I suggest you do is do what motivates you. If you feel worn out from the gym and not motivated to go back into the gym, then take some time off. Take a few days off. For me personally, I knew I needed at least Sunday off to kind of rehydrate my body. I didn't drink a lot on Saturday, rehydrate myself, kind of feel better. But I knew I wanted to get back into the gym because the gym atmosphere is what keeps me motivated. It's what keeps me on track. I feel like it starts my day off the right way, that I go to work and I can handle stress better. I make better choices throughout the day if I start my day going to the gym. So I did. I went to the gym Monday and I hit it hard, and I haven't done that in some other preps. I've kind of taken a few days off, and I feel like that's typically when I start to fall off the wagon a bit. The gym for me is just a very grounding place. So I knew this week would be tough for workouts, so I just kind of went into it mentally saying, that's okay, Kara. You're tired. Your back's sore from popping your booty for a legit 20 minutes on stage. Am I right? And being dehydrated. And I just decided giving 80% is okay in the gym this week. I'm not going to beat myself up because maybe I'm not lifting as heavy as I normally do. Or maybe I'm not hitting my plyos as fast as I normally do. That's okay. And that's what I did for the week. I took one day off during the week. Other than that, I trained all week. Now, with a reverse diet, truly, you're kind of supposed to look at your training and your nutrition pre-competition and mimic it going into your reverse diet, cardio included. So that can be a little tough, but I feel like I did really well with my workouts this week. I've fallen off the wagon in previous preps with being able to hit the cardio. My cardio was pretty high going into this prep. Well, not going into this prep, going into the competition. I upped my cardio usually about 2 weeks out. You guys know I was in Florida. So when I came home, I really bumped it up with an hour and a half of cardio total for the day, most days of the week. So truly going into this past week, I didn't want cardio. I didn't want to just not do cardio. That's what my body was used to on those low macros. So to all of a sudden up macros and not do any cardio, of course you're going to gain a ton of weight. So for me, I knew I wanted to go into the week and still keep my training up. So I did my training, and my cardio I did not a total of an hour and a half every day, you guys, but I was pretty good about getting in at least 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. I kind of split it up a little bit different this week than I normally did, but overall I'm very happy with how well I did with my training and my cardio this week. And I think that helped me out quite a bit. So you need to be aware of that. You need to have a plan for what your workouts are going to entail post-competition. What's best for you, what motivates you, how's your body feeling, and all those factors, And like I said, for me, getting in the gym, it kind of feels like a family for me where I work out at Well Rounded. They're so supportive there, and it just felt really good to be back in the gym this week. Now, in terms of nutrition, as I just mentioned, you typically want to go into that reverse diet at the macros you were at your peak week, going into your competition. I'll be honest with you, my macros I cut pretty low going into this competition. I ranged as low as 20 carbs. I know it's scary low. I didn't do it a lot, guys. I had 2 days on 20 carbs, but I was anywhere from 20 to about 50 carbs. It's considerably low. And I only share that with you just to give you the reality of how tough it can be. You can imagine going into your competition and then Monday morning being back on 50 carbs sucks. It sucks hard, and it sucks worse than peak week because that motivation, that little carrot dangling there for the finale, it's no longer there. It's all about self-discipline and making good choices. And all of us struggle with that, right? I mean, it's tough. So I went into the week mentally telling myself I need to be on my workout plan and I need to keep macros fairly close to what I was peak week. Now, those that know me know I'm not a perfectionist by any means. That's just not me. Maybe you can see that by this channel and my personality. I'm not a perfectionist, but I was really more concerned, not with weight gain coming off of this show, with my mental health, with not beating myself up, with not hating myself, with not hating my body, which I think a lot of people do post-competition. So I took a different approach with my reverse diet. My focus is more on my mental well-being and self-love and not hating myself. I refuse to do that. I refuse to compete if I'm going to hate myself post-competition. I see so many females, and I don't see males as open about this, but I'm sure they struggle as well. But I see so many females who just literally hate themselves in their off season, who post nothing but, man, I really miss this. I miss the abs. I hate how fluffy I feel. Oh my God. And all they do is post pictures of their competition look. Granted, that's all I've posted this week, but it's only because I'm super happy with how I looked on stage. It's not because I hate my body right now. But I don't think that's a good place to be, and it makes me really concerned, especially with the increase in popularity of these bikini competitions. I competed with 60 girls, at least in the bikini competition last weekend, and it makes me really nervous for the mental toll it takes on you. So with that being said, I really wanted to focus on making sure I was making the right choices this week to, again, do what's good for my metabolism, to not all of a sudden rebound in weight, but to also not be too overly hard on myself and not hate myself, if that makes any sense. So I went into the week wanting to stick around 50 carbs, same protein macros. I actually upped my protein a little bit this week because of the increase in hunger I experienced coming off both days of free meal status. Your hunger is usually through the roof after you eat like that. So it can be very challenging to then dip back down to those low macros. So anyways, that was my plan, and I did really good like Monday through Wednesday with carbs. I will say fat was a huge struggle for me this week. Fat is always where I struggle. Except for once I got close to the competition, when fat got low, I just took peanut butter out and I was actually not hitting fat macros. Post-competition, that P28, good Lord, lock it up, folks. Lock it up. It's too good. It's too good. And I'll openly admit I went over on my fat macros like 3 days this week. And that was the reality of it. And that's what I did, and that's what I chose to do. I was well aware I did it. And, shit happens. And I'm not going to hate myself for it. I'm a human. I was pretty strict, pretty tight on my prep this time around, and I'm still doing a reverse diet, So I want people to know, just because you don't hit your macros perfectly every single day, it doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean stop the reverse diet and fuck it all and just eat whatever you want and quit tracking. Don't do that to yourself, because that will send you down a slippery slope. Well, you will probably rebound and gain a ton of weight, and that will take a huge mental toll on you, especially so close after your competition when people are still, asking about it, commending you, looking at your photos. So just be careful with that and be mindful. So overall, my motivation was still really good this week that I was proud of. I felt very motivated and inspired by this last competition. I'm in a place where I felt like with the judges' feedback, I don't want to go too far from where I'm at physically. They felt like things looked really good. I have some small tweaks to make, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in another video, but I don't want to get too far off track. I do want to compete in 2016. I'm going to get that pro card, and part of that is just setting new goals for yourself in your reverse diet to keep you motivated. You have to have some kind of goals there, because that's what drives us. You have to have some kind of commitment, and I know I need that. And one of my mentors, Jeremy Freeman, he's been on my channel, spoke about it the other weekend, and it really hit home for me. He said there's a lot of people in this world who are real interested in losing weight, real interested in reaching their goals, a lot of interest there. But there's a difference between being interested and being committed. And that hit home for me big time because I think it's true. And so post competition, you can't just remain interested. You have to set some goals and stay committed to whatever your focus is. And I'm not saying you have to be like on a strict prep diet or, you have to be counting every macro, but just set some kind of goals for yourself that keeps you feeling like you're working towards a purpose and something there that drives you towards that purpose. And I think that'll help you all stay on track. So for me, my purpose right now and my goals are to compete in 2016 and earn my pro card. So while I'm going to fit in some fun foods in the meantime before prep officially begins, I'm going to stay committed to that goal of mine. Every single day, I'm going to remember I need rounder glutes. I'm still going to throw a peanut butter cup in my oatmeal because #balance, right? But, I'm going to remember my purpose. And that really fired me up this week in the gym and even with my meals and eating, I didn't eat fish this week, but I ate chicken and corn and green beans and burger, and I wasn't upset about it. Like, I had people at work be like, oh, you can eat real food now, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I always eat real food, but I am fitting in more little fun things here and there. So overall, I did good this week. I was not perfect. I wanted to have a perfect week. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a perfectionist, but I wanted to have a perfect week because I wanted to share with you guys, I can do this. I want to be a good role model to you guys. Like, that's why I do this channel, is to be an inspiration. And I really wanted to report that to you guys. But, the reality is I also do this channel because you guys know I'm no bullshit. And I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm perfect and tell you I am. I'm going to be real with you and tell you it wasn't a perfect week. I didn't hit macros like a pro, but it's okay. And I still did good, and I'm proud of my progress, and mentally, I still feel in a really good place, and I still feel really motivated. And I think that's more important than, still looking like you looked on show day. You guys know I'm very vocal. I work to look like I look on show day for show day. I don't plan to look like that the day after. And I didn't look like that the day after. I had a frozen yogurt the size of my fucking head after the competition. I was bloated on Sunday. I still have abs, but there's bloat there. That's all right. That's okay with me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sorry I can't tell you I was perfect, but I'm here to share with you that, it's okay. You can keep moving forward. And for those of you that are reverse dieting right now, I hope this helps you, and I hope you can move forward with me. And I almost want to start like my own little reverse dieting group, because I feel like there's so many people out there, like I said, that are lonely and think they're the only ones going through it, and then feel bad. Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this reverse diet? I can get first place on stage, but damn it, why can't I get this reverse diet right? You're not the only ones going through it. I guarantee there's more that just aren't even vocal about it. So I encourage anyone, if you're struggling right now, comment below. Let me know. If you don't want to share publicly in front of people, send me an email. You guys have my email address. I am available for coaching with limited spots, but I want you to know I'm here for you. And you guys are here for me, and I need that support just as much as you guys need mine. So I want you to know I'm here for you. The other thing I did want to share too that I think is a little bit different for reverse dieting and dieters, I chose not to weigh myself that much this week. I weighed myself once midweek. I don't count stage weight, you guys. I know people like to say, I'm this many pounds above stage weight. Stage weight to me is not reality. I literally dropped 2.5 pounds overnight from Friday to Saturday when I woke up, and I didn't restrict fluid as much on Friday. I mean, I limited it, but I just kind of slowly stopped it at 8 o'clock at night, and that was it. And overnight, I think between the spray tan, like that spray tan dries you out like no belief, but between that and cutting out fluid a little bit, my weight was down like 2.5 pounds. That's not reality. So I take stage weight and I throw it out the door. Okay, I'm not comparing anything to stage weight because that sets me up for some false reality of how much I should really weigh. The week of peak week, I was ranging between about 105, 106, and the week before 107. So to me, 105 to 107 is kind of a realistic weight. to maintain while I'm reversing. So I did weigh myself once midweek. I was 107, and I was like really good with that. And then after that, I did, like I said, I ate too much fat, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to step on the scale right now, because for me, I feel like that doesn't help me any. I know I went over macros. What does stepping on the scale tell me right now? Probably tells me a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you. I think that what it'll tell me is I'm going to feel bad about myself all day long, and it'll be a reminder that I screwed up. And that's me. Some people don't work like that. Some people can step on the scale every day and be good to go. But as you know, there are daily fluctuations on the scale that can occur, whether you're a competitor or not. It's just part of our bodies. So 1 to 2 times a week on the scale, I think, is healthy. And that's what I'm going to do right now. 1 to 2 times a week, I'm going to step on the scale, see where things are at. You know, I can monitor my progress in other ways, you know, progress pictures, looking in the mirror, how my clothes are fitting, all those kinds of things. And for me to stay mentally healthy right now, which I mentioned is more of my focus in my reverse diet, that works well for me. So totally up to you guys how you want to handle it, but I know a lot of coaches do have you do daily weights in your reverse diet. Makes total sense, but just assess your mentality and how it impacts you. Don't get on the scale if you know you're going to see a number you're not going to want to see, and you're going to hate yourself the rest of the day and just perseverate on it. And I am one of those people, and I'm just not going to do that to myself right now. So a couple times a week, I'm going to step on the scale, see how things are going, and keep track that way. So I think I will wrap up the video here because I've rambled long enough. I'm going to continue to do more reverse dieting videos for you guys. I will keep you posted in the videos on my progress, but more specifically, please comment below with what questions you have about reverse dieting. Again, if you need someone to support you through this process, I'm going through it with you. So just reach out to me. I'm here for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share it with others, please. I really want to hit that 50K. I'm working for it. I want to get there before 2016. That's my own personal goal for whatever reason. I just set that as a goal this summer. So share this video with others who you think might be struggling and can find this helpful, and keep checking back for more.
Look at that, 108! 143!